Man, this isn't a race against me and Rich Roll. This is a race against David Goggins and David Goggins alone. And once you can silence all that bullshit, all the outside interference and things that are attracting your mind to everything, you can then start to grow in realizing I'm stressed out for no reason. This is my own little race. This is my own timeline, and this is how I'm going to run it.
All right, Shalom. This is Brother Gabar, and before I hop into this lesson, first and foremost, I would like to give all praises to the Most High, their true Paleo-Hebrew names, and in the Paleo-Hebrew tongue, Yahweh being the true name of the Father, which means He exists, and Yahweh Shai being the true name of His only begotten Son, which means He delivers. So with that, I would like to say, Kal Halayim, Le Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ha Rakah, Kodash, Ma'amaf. All right, double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Double honors to my elder as well, Ahar One Ben Yasharallah. Shalom to the Akim, the brothers, and the women and children that sincerely believe, man. All right. So this lesson today is just stemming from this clip that I saw on TikTok, man. And there's a couple points in that clip that reminded me of this scripture. Primarily when he said, basically, once you're able to, block out like outside interference or like outside noise, and basically lock in, and realize, that it's not a race against this or that, but you ultimately, racing against yourself, proving yourself to the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and also proving yourself to yourself, right? Once you're able to realize those things, you're able to grow. All right. And kind of, he was saying, once you able to block out all that interference and all that noise. And I was thinking of it like this, in this truth, in this spiritual, race, or the spiritual journey, man, is, it's good noise and it's bad noise. You got the good noise, which is, ultimately the noise of the spirit, which is, of course, knowledge, wisdom. All right. The song being, sung by the prophets and the true men of the Lord. All right. Again, that song pertaining to knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. And that good noise also falls into like correction, rebuke, for righteousness' sake. And also, man, ridicule can be a good noise. It just all depends on how a person chooses to take it. All right. And then you got bad noise, which would be literally kind of like the complete opposite, man. The noise of this world. All right. The sin, the wickedness, man, the songs of the wicked. All right. The sin, the transgression, the idolatry, the abominations. All right. Just the general wickedness of this place, man. All right. And also the noise of our own minds, man, and the noise of this flesh. All right. But once we're able to, man, spiritually, man, we should be able to put on like noise canceling headphones, man, to block out all the bad noise while still being able to tune in and to accept and dissect, and utilize all the good noise, the noise and the things that's going to push you forward and closer towards the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, because the noise of the world is only going to pull you away from the Lord. All right. And and also the noise of the world too is man, unbelief, doubt, uncertainty. You know what I'm saying? Those are also noises of the world, man, because 2/3 of our people, as well as these other nations, you know what I'm saying? That's exactly the mind frame that they're in. Is only going to get worse, as things increase upon the earth, man. All right, you got wars and rumors of wars increasing upon the earth, primarily this conflict between the U.S., Israel, and Iran. All right, you got gas prices, rising. All right, so uncertainty and doubt and, faithlessness and all the noise of the world is going to increase, man. All right, and while that noise and our interference increases, that's when we got to put on those spiritual noise canceling headphones, right? And then to block out that noise and that interference, the noise of the world, and to tune in into the noise of the spirit, and those that good noise, and he said once you realize that, you're able to really grow. And it reminded me, and it brought to mind the scripture. This is the book of Galatians chapter 6 and verse 4. It says, but let every man prove his own work. And then, right, so, man, in this truth and striving for the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man, you ultimately, you ultimately striving to prove yourself unto the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, all right, and to yourself, and then within doing that, man, the Lord, prove you to others, you know what I'm saying? But when it's all said and done, man, you really, should be focused on proving yourself, man, to the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man, also to yourself, man, being that Hebrew version of yourself and not the version of yourself that you were in the world, But it says, but let every man prove his own work, then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. All right. And just like a bishop in his truth once told me, nobody ever know but you and the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and you got to accept that, you know what I'm saying? And you got to accept that and, man, do whatever is necessary and do whatever you can in truth and in sincerity, man, ultimately, man, to prove yourself to the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right, prove yourself to yourself, man. And it says, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another, man. Because once you truly begin to grow in the spirit and the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man, you're able to have rejoicing within yourself, man. You can, you know what I'm saying? You can have rejoicing within yourself, man. Like, damn, I did that, or I didn't do that, or, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? You can have that rejoicing within yourself, and, and it says, verse 5, for every man shall bear his own burden, man. Because when it's all said and done, man, you got brotherhoods and, the scriptures say, let brotherly love continue, man. So that's a beautiful thing, However, at the end of the day, we all got to stand on our own 2 feet before the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. And then, man, nobody can, man, hold your hand and walk you through this truth or make sure you're doing what you supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? When you behind closed doors and when eyes ain't on you or whatever the case may be, man, you got to know within yourself and improve yourself to the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and yourself. All right. Let every man bear his own burden, man. All right. If a brother lifting his own shield and lifting his own sword, man, he can't help you. You know what I'm saying? He might give you some words of encouragement, you know what I'm saying, to help give you strength to lift your own sword and shield, but man, he can't lift it for you. You know what I'm saying? Just using that analogy. But Con, man, we gotta block out all that bad noise and all that bad interference, while tuning in and taking in all the good noise and that good I guess interference, but that good noise, you feel what I'm saying? And the things of the spirit that's gonna help push and propel us forward, man. And again, man, that good noise is, of course, man, the knowledge, wisdom, the understanding, correction, reprove, rebuke, sometimes ridicule, again, depending on how a man takes it, but all of that, man, and especially when it's for righteousness' sake, man, all of those things can be and should be used to continue to propel you forward, while blocking out all that bad noise and that bad interference, which is ultimately going to, hinder you. You know what I'm saying? But man, again, it's the book of Galatians chapter 6 and verse 4. It says, but let every man prove his own work, right, man? Prove yourself to the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. And by that extension, you're going to prove yourself to yourself, man. All right. And it says, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another, man. All right, by proving yourself to the Lord, by proving yourself unto yourself, man, you're going to be able to, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be able to, man, lift your head up, you know what I'm saying? Look in the mirror and like what you see type shit, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be able to rejoice in yourself, man. And it says, for every man shall bear his own burden, man, because at the end of the day, we all gotta carry our own cross, man. You know, we all gotta bear our own cross for the Lord Yahweh Shemi Hawashah, man. And you know, nobody ain't, you know, man, nobody can help you bear your cross, man, because they bearing their own. You feel me? So you gotta, you know, you gotta make sure you proving yourself to the Lord and to yourself, and you know, you doing those things that's required of you, you know, so you can rejoice within yourself, man. You know, and shoot, rejoice within the Lord, you know, for righteousness' sake. All right. And man, that was pretty much it. You know, I ain't gonna say too much, but you know, I pray and hope that this was edifying and are encouraging. And with that, I want to say shalom.